All right, I think that's enough leeway. All right, this is it. Are you ready for talking for 1 hour straight?
Oh, 1 hour straight talk time. I'm a rambler, so I can do this.
Yeah. You know what's the funny part? Last time when I was doing an episode with Dakota, I had a little script of bullet points. I figured like I could imagine me and him talking about, but for this, I got lazy and no script. We're free balling.
Freeballing the script, huh? So, do we have a general consensus on the direction we're heading for this podcast, or?
Uh, I was like, my buddy Robbie here, he likes FromSoft games. I think we could talk decently about FromSoft games, but then we might have to sprinkle some other things in because then it'll just be like a 1 hour FromSoft discussion. I don't know how many people that'll drive away, calling us nerds and throwing tomatoes at me when I get to work.
So, what I'm hearing is basically we have a game discussion today.
Yeah, we have little game discussions. I talked to Dakota about military stuff, and I just said some stereotypical stuff and stuff I thought of that wasn't prejudiced. Things like that, of that nature.
Okay. So, then I have a question for you starting off because I think we've gone through this and we're going to bring up our original topic on what we've talked about for the whole reincarnation bullshit a little bit.
Oh, all right. Okay, I see where you're
Good
going.
feel for thought for the episode. Anyways, so my question to you, because you've
Uh-huh.
played pretty much all of them, correct? For
Just about all of them. The only ones I haven't played is Sekiro, which I do want to get, and then Bloodborne and Demon Souls. So just about three of them, but Dark Souls, all of them, and Elden Ring.
So you've played most of the games. I don't know. I've
Most of
I've
the games.
dabbled into yeah. I haven't played a lot of Demon Souls. I dabbled, but that was because it was on like PlayStation Game Pass for a little while, and I'm like, you know what? That seems like it'd be fun to just test out. And I will say, some of the painful aspects because I played Bloodborne. Bloodborne was fun, but the painful aspects for me with those older games was the fact that healing was so restrictive because it's not like any of the Dark Souls, which is you get the flasks or whatever, and then you recover them.
Like, yeah, Estus.
You don't do that in those old games. It's just like, okay, so there are items you pick up, and these are what you recover with. Otherwise, good luck, Chief. You run out, don't go
Yeah,
looking for more, man, because they're not here. So, but I think that was a big gripe for me on finishing those games because Bloodborne was fucking hard for me, man. Sekiro, God, please don't.
I gotta say, before we get further, I gotta say, Robbie, you dog, I didn't know you had a PlayStation. I thought you were Xbox for lifers.
So I did have a PlayStation 4 and stuff, but I don't use it anymore. It's kind of a little outdated, and it sounds like a jet engine that is starting up. And I also have a PC that sounds like a jet engine.
I hear that PlayStation real got infamous for that. You just had it for a while, and then you started up, and it was like you had to put a fan on it right away, or else it'd go boom.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I borrowed my friend's PlayStation 4 for a while to play Ghost of Tsushima on it because he had the game, and it's like, you know what? And he didn't use it anymore because that's when PS5s first came out and he got one. So, anyways, I borrowed it from him. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna put it on my thing down here, right? I had all my stuff set out in my living room, and then just absolute like wind turbine just going on, and it's like I can't hear the game anymore. It was literally just about to send through the. That would have been funny, man. Just the PlayStation 4 just would have shot out.
I've heard some shit like when you're a kid and like your PlayStation did that, because I myself and you too, like we're like late night gamers, but like imagine just like some kids just about to turn on his PlayStation, wanting to play like late night, and then just hear their fans going off, and they're like, shut up, trying to make sure it doesn't wake up the whole house.
So I feel like this is good leeway into topics. So I feel like you might have done this as a kid. So we grew up in a generation that was kind of littered with tablets, other shit, right? Just shit you could get your hands on at night to play. You
Yep.
ever get yelled at for that shit? Have those sneaky moments where it's like, ooh, gotta like keep my thing under the cover. My parents will never know. They fucking knew, man. Every single parent, they knew. It was just whether or not they wanted to deal with it. Because they're like, you know what? They're going to have to learn some way or another. You know what I mean? In the fucking morning, they're going to be tired as fucking have to still go to school. So, no, that's how my parents dealt with it. But it's like, dude, they knew. They 100%, man.
Yeah, us like being kids, we probably thought like we're being sneaky or we're pulling one off of them, but nah. No, growing up, you realize how stupid we were. But I got when I was saying the whole PlayStation kids must have like had a hard time playing games at night. It reminded me actually when I was younger. I don't know how young I was. I was playing like my Xbox, and then what I do is that I'd have my this TV off if it came to be, and then I fucking memorized how you would hold down the little button on top and like what buttons you had to press to turn it off in case I had to like hide it under my blanket, pretend I was asleep and turn it off. I don't think it came to that, but I was like, just in case. My little contingency plan so they wouldn't know. I'm like, it's genius. Just the only thing is that would have given it away is that the Xbox console like has a noticeable light on it.
Yeah.
So then imagine you're walking into like my room, you find me asleep, and then the Xbox console just magically turns off the little sound it makes. Not suspicious at all.
That'd be so funny. I feel like it would have been better if your parents would have caught you. What did you do? Why did you turn it? Like, it's not even a. I don't know. I feel like as a parent, I just kind of laugh about it because there's. Dude, that is so funny, man. You can't not laugh about it. You know what I mean? That is funny as hell. It's like, really? Really now? Come on. Like, uh.
You see that trend that's been going on? I don't think it's still going around, but it was so the parents would be recording themselves for like TikTok or something, and so their kid would be asleep either like on the couch or in the car, and then they'll say out loud, it's like, "Oh, I heard this thing where like if your child fell asleep and you lift up their arm, if their arm stays up, that means they're sleeping, and if it falls down, is they're awake." And so you have all these kids like holding their arm up, and then they're like, "Oh my God, they really are asleep." And then it's like, damn, they fell right for it.
Dude, that is so. I don't know. Some things like that happen, man. It's like I question the actual validity to it sometimes because it's like, man, I don't know. People are dumb, bro. Sometimes I hate to admit it, but it's just like I will think that sometimes because it's like, man, some people just like it's about common sense, right? I feel like common sense
Yeah,
isn't as shared as it once was. So there's some things that I view as common sense that you probably wouldn't view as common sense. You know what I mean? So I call people dumb, but they probably have their own fucking guiding views on these things, which good for them, right? But in my opinion, in my view set, it's dumb, right?
right.
But God, people, it's some of the dumb things that like, especially social media trends over the last few years, man. Some of the crazy shit I've seen is like, what? Excuse me, huh? I feel like that is like a perfect example though of just like kids leaving their hands up. It's like, huh? Excuse me, why? Why is this a thing?
One of the infamous ones, aside from the whole Tide Pod stuff, was it was like salt and ice, and then yeah,
Bro, that wasn't even like that was fucking what, Vine times?
I I just heard about that and then heard that people fucking get burned themselves. I was like, yep, I'm not doing that.
So I did that when I was a kid, and yes, it is fun fact. So the salt reacts to the ice and just kind of like burns your skin. It causes a chemical reaction that burns your skin and stuff. It's not like it leaves
Good.
a mark for an insane amount of time, unless you're dumb and keep it in your hand for a long time. Because then, well, that's just happening. Your skin doesn't like that. It's not. There's a reason why you feel pain. But
Yeah.
that was my cousin way back in fucking. I think I was in sixth grade when he showed me that. And he's like, "Hey, listen, I got this really cool thing." And he just puts some salt on the top of my hand, and I'm like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he grabs some ice cubes, and it's like, "It's called the salt and ice challenge." So just like keep it on your hand for a while, dude. Like 20 seconds? No, I think it was like
No.
25 seconds, and it's like, no, please, nah, off my hand now. That was so stupid, though.
There's a thinking back on it, it's just like we just had some like stupid shit. I think our generation just had a death wish or something
Our
because
generation did have a death wish.
it was there's also this thing. Well, I don't think it was like really deadly, but it was also stupid. It was like the Kylie Jenner lip challenge or something like that, where like they get a cup, put it up to their mouth, and like they'd suck it, and so like it makes like the vacuum and like they leave it there for who knows how long. They remove it and like their lips were just like swollen.
I do. I know
And
what you're talking about. I know the trend you're talking about.
uh, there was that and the whole cinnamon challenge, where it's like you gotta eat spoons of sugar or cinnamon.
Spoonful of cinnamon. Yeah, I have
Yep.
tried that. Ugh. Ugh. It just your mouth goes so dry. It doesn't know what to do. It's just it sucks every last ounce of moisture out, and it's just like ugh.
Turns into a desert. Man, I don't know. I never partook in any of them. I just heard about them and like the repercussions that followed. I was like, you know, maybe I won't do that.
Yeah, I love how you're talking about these, and it's like, man, some of these older dumb ones. It's like I did that shit, bro. Like you said, as you grow up, you just kind of realize all the dumb things that you do, and it's like, man, what was I thinking? What was we went through a storm drain, so that was a fun fact. So crawling through what was it like mile plus of that shit, and it's just like looking back on it nowadays, it's like how stupid are we? There's literally how many poisonous things in that shit, like when we were crawling through underneath spider
Yep.
webs and other stuff, and it's like, what in our brain told us that going forward was the right choice? Who was it? I think it was Bryce that ended up actually talking me into that too, because he came to the library one day. You guys already did this. And he comes to
Yeah,
the
I think it
library
was
one day and he's like, "We're gonna go crawl in the storm drain again." And it's like, okay, and, being like a high school teenager, you just go along with your friends, right? And they say
yeah,
like,
we're all
don't
stupid.
follow your friends if they jump off a bridge. I feel like we were a dumb friend group. I feel like it would have just been like penguins walking off a cliff and just not knowing and just being like, oh, he went. Let's go find out what happened. And it just like it's all tumbling over. You know what I mean?
I think there's a word for this. It's called peer pressure, I think.
Peer pressure. Yeah, no, we're awful to each other. I don't know. We peer
Uh,
pressure each other in good and bad ways. So it's not like it's all positive or negative.
I think the way the storm drain, as far as I remember, is it was me and Jason because we were walking past like is that a CVS right there? It's like next to the Little Caesars or what used to be Little Caesars. We were walking back and then it was just me and him and we glanced over in like the little like neighborhood like area right there and we just seen across this like field of grass there was this large ass hole and then we're like huh. And then we just walk over and check it out and this some older woman comes by and then she starts like talking to us about it. She's not like really mean or anything, but she's kind of like stern and saying like no, you shouldn't go in there. This is like this whole area is kind of like property or whatever. Like if you don't live here, you can't be here. Yada yada. And Jason's just like agreeing, whatever, just going along with what she says. And then later when we mentioned it to you guys, he was like, "Yeah, I got skills with like elderly people." And in my head, even I thought was like, it's honestly not that hard. You just gotta agree with them. Just go along with what they're saying. But anyway, then I'm not from there. I don't know how we got coaxed into it. I think we were just talking about like, yo, there's a storm drain. We could like totally fit in it, and then it just went downhill from there.
It just and then you decided to start bringing other people into this.
Yeah, and then it turned to an expedition. We got everyone together.
Bro's gonna go check out the caves. Oh my god. Oh, I love how we did that dumb shit though, because we always used to walk around in groups and stuff. And
Or
for
I
the
think,
most part, there was like three plus of us every single time when we were walking around and like just doing. I don't know. We were chaos, man. We
we're a
didn't
group of
actively
boys.
cause bad things, but whenever the chance arises where it's like, hey, we can do something dumb, it's like, guys, come on, fellas. We pushed our friend literally how many miles across town in a shopping cart while his leg was broken?
Yep.
Just that it's not like we wanted or we actively did a lot of bad things. It's just we had bad ideas, and it's like, you know what? Let's just do them. Let's just fuck
Well,
it, bro.
good stories, I guess.
They are good stories.
I think thinking more on it, I think how we ended up finding about the more infamous storm drain we went through is because right on the opposite end of that street, there was it used to be all dirt right there. Now it's like a whole another housing area, but it used to be all dirt right there. I think even some like kids would like bike on it because they make hills out of it, whatever. But on the side, closer to the road, there was like another storm drain, and you could like lift up the thing or whatever. You could crawl in it, and like it led to another like little area, like a little spot you get to sit in. And so I think I was probably mentioning to Jason about that, and then on our eyes just wandered, and we came across a bigger one, and we're like, "Yo, we could claim that one."
This one can be ours. This will be our new territory.
Yep. I was actually almost afraid that that thing was just gonna go on forever, but luckily it came to a stop. I thought we're just gonna be crawling and fucking end up in a new state or something.
This is just gone for like 3 weeks. Just like, guys, where's the sun? Where is it?
I thought it was gonna like lead to some like actual sewer shit, and then like we'd be running into like mutants and giant rats.
This is just
But luckily, the worst of our like most of our worries were just from the whole cockroach nest from that one area in the beginning and spider webs towards the end. So God forbid if you're claustrophobic.
yeah. No. Speaking of poisonous things, so a little fun fact. Do you remember the snake that appeared on campus? I was walking with one of my friends from choir. It was just after like fifth period. So I was walking back over to the buildings on the bus side. I forgot what building that was exactly, but I was walking on the outside of it, those stairs on the outside, right, going down that first set. So
Right.
the snake was like, it was a smaller snake. I don't know if it was a baby snake, but it was definitely a younger snake, and it's like, it was about a foot away from me when I heard this thing, and it was to my left, and he was, or it was to my right, and he was to my left. So I had to like instinctively jump to my left, right? Because I heard the fucking noise. And it's like I had instincts tell me to leave instantly. But he didn't hear this. So he's just standing there and I jump straight into him and he's like, oh, what are you doing? And it's like, man, there's a fucking snake. What do you mean? What am I doing? I don't want to be dead in 2 seconds, man. Like, fuck off. So anyways, like, and then he sees it and he like backs up and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. And it's like, it's whatever. But we go like I think it was like probably a minute, and then classes let out after that point because we actually got out a little bit early. And then
Wow.
when classes let out, I was still standing over there. I don't think I was really saying anything because somebody else had like come up and they had seen that shit, so they were trying to tell people.
Yeah.
But we had a group of like I think it was seniors, and they just kind of started surrounding it. And one had a
Oh,
tennis ball, and
snake.
they threw the tennis ball and they started throwing this tennis ball at the stake, and it's like teenagers have a fucking death sentence, bro. Like, holy shit, what? Who? Why? What?
Like,
What is there to
I,
gain?
is it bad? I think no context of like how our school was. I think no context if we said like, oh, a teenager threw a tennis ball at a snake. I would say, yeah, they're stupid, but I think because I knew how our school was, it makes sense. I don't know why it makes sense. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
It does, bro, and it's so. I don't know. I find that funny about our school because every time I think back on it, I'll think of stupid shit like that. It's like this just sounds like our school, man. I love how so. I don't know if you were here for junior year, so that's when I had weed. I got all that shit happen to me, right? Um,
Yeah, because I was up, I was staying over there up until like beginning of sophomore year. So anything past like the first couple months of sophomore year, I wasn't there for.
yeah. I think that was junior year. But no, we had this assembly, right? And he's literally talking. It was the principal was talking about he's like, oh well, we're a drug-free school, and like was relatively, but that's because they don't catch people until after I was the first subject of getting caught, and then afterwards, bro, it was a
Right,
whole
bro.
slew of shit because they had such a good reputation for like being a drug-free campus. They caught me, and then it's like just started going downhill, bro. Like
You're
reputation went from like pristine up here, bro, like on the ceiling, to just like, all right, we're crawling through the trenches, boys. Like
you're the catalyst.
I was the catalyst, bro. I love to think of it that way so much when look back on high school because I was the first person to get caught with that shit. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. I was stupid at that point in my life, and like, I don't.
It was just it was just a domino effect.
Yeah, but it was a domino effect, and it's like, man, you just had a meeting about this. You just told us how good a school we were, bro. It's funny because I
People,
was high as fuck during that thing, dude, when they were talking about it, and I was just chuckling when he started saying that stuff. I'm like, he doesn't know. He doesn't
Pe-
know.
can you imagine like people were just like shaking in their boots, just wanting to like not go against his wishes, and then next thing you know, word gets around, and they're like, "Well, if Robbie did it, it looks like I could do it." And it just snowballed.
Oh god, no, that was so fucking funny though, dude. I that was one of my personal high points from high school. As much as it was shitty to get all the other court things and whatnot, it's on my fucking juvenile record. That's all scrubbed at this point, so it's a good story to talk about nowadays. It's like I did that, I caused it, I'm the bad influence.
One of the like good slash funny quotes I've seen is it just says bad decisions, good stories. It was like something like along the lines of that. And I think about all the stuff we did as a group, and I'm like, yeah, like at the moment, or like, well, maybe at not the moment, but when you think back on it, it was stupid, but it's just funny to tell.
Yeah, no, there's so many stories that are just like, man, what where were our brains at, bro? Like, what we had, like, the worst part is, I think there was always collectively at least like three or four of us, right? So it's not like it was just a single fucking teenager making this decision. We all came to this decision and went like, you know what? That is what we
You know, I
choose.
think
We choose fucking dumb.
I think there's a simple explanation for this, and that would be that we were just a group of teenage boys. I don't think it gets any more complicated than that. We're I think yeah, there's a reason why women have a higher life expectancy than us.
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. So back in high school, fun fact. Um, Fingers still a little fucky to this day because my left hand I can't feel it an insane amount. So I was messing with the outlet, and God, what was that? I think that was my junior year because it was like physics class because I wanted to take something easy and I didn't do physics, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, physics time. Which I actually had a blast, man. Physics is one of my favorite topics from school. But anyways, so I made this lead pencil. It was penny, like an actual copper penny, one of the old ones, not the fucking zinc
Uh-huh.
ones. Um, I had a copper wire from a headphone, and then I just kind of like wrapped it around like graphite, and I had like a little rubber piece to hold onto it. But yeah, I made like a little makeshift taser. Granted, this thing like would literally burn because lead is not fucking made to be, having this power from the fucking electricity socket, right, going through it, and it would only hold charge for like not even. You basically have to go from the outlet to somebody. But hey, man, science experiments in class, great. But I did shock myself in making that, and that's why my hands to this day, man, like still, like the tips of my fingers are
Fucking
still messed, bro.
burn their nerves off.
It felt like it, dude. I don't know, because I remember I just shocked myself, and I was like, it was hard to get off. I forgot who was there, but somebody fucking just kind of like kicked me. They had a boot on or some shit. And they just kind of pushed me over and like
Youch.
kind of disconnected me from the socket. It's like, ow, ow, God, why? Yeah, no, dumb things in high school, man. Like I said, speaking about women having higher life expectancies, you know what I mean? I
I
feel like I did an excess amount of dumb shit like that, though.
remember I forget what I think it was a science class, but we uh we had to use these like little machines that's to help like boil water in like a little beaker. I forget what the machine's called, but like it might have been a Bunsen burner, but it was like a flat. It was like flat on top, and that little like metal on top would heat up, of course, and then you boil up your little beaker water, what have you. But I remember I got my pencil and I just like took the eraser end and just like started pressing into it, and then the eraser just started melting. I don't think I had a good reason. I think I shouted, not shouted, but like I said something as I was doing it, just for like effect and for the people at my table.
Oh my God, that's painful. That is absolutely painful that you did that. Granted, we all did dumb stuff. So we had somebody in our computer science class in sophomore year. He shoved a fork in an outlet. In
That's,
one
I
one,
heard about that.
yeah, you know about this story. I was in that class when it happened, and I saw it go down, and it was beautiful.
I heard that socket never started working again, or something like that, or is that a commission?
It was just broken. So basically, the computer science rooms work how they have so it's kind of like take it from like each corner. So when you walk into the room, like back left corner, and then to your right, that first corner there. But from each of those corners is where on each wall spreads out like from a single socket, right, and all these different ones that you plug into the actual PCs and stuff. But he put it into the ones on like right when you enter the class to the left. Now, when he did that, that whole entire side of the fucking room, because the teacher was out, whole side of the room, every computer completely shut off. He completely fucking tripped the breaker. So the IT guy had to go back through, and that's why we figured it out, or that's why they figured it out, because he had to fucking flip a breaker to fix it again, because he short-circuited the fucking outlet, and it's like, and the whole, that outlet that he did that in specifically, that one just didn't work again. It was just fucked, but it's like, dude, I don't know, like you said, dumb shit, bro. That was another, just want to say that was another dude that did that, so like, life expectancy real low over here, like, it ain't looking good. Oh man, I feel like another dumb moment. So, back in high school, we also used to have, it was Midnight Madness is what we used to call it. So band, choir, and like guitar kids would all get together, 6
Right.
p.m. to midnight, and we used to have across the campus flag football. You know how fun that is, man. Having like 100 people playing flag football across an entire campus like that. So, anyways, I remember we had gone on to the football field because there was somebody out there and I had ran to chase them. And when I did, like I hopped the fence, but the fence on the top of the football field, like it was a chain link fence and it was just not, it was very rough. So I completely like cut my fucking hands open getting over this thing. And it's like, I'm like, cause I got over to the other side and it's like, I can't even grab the thing if I wanted to right now. Cause I just bleed all over people. And it's like, well, I'm going to go
God.
fix myself. Oh, dude. Yeah, life expectancy. Dude, I feel like now just talking about them and going through it, it's like, man, dumb shit, man. Just like, don't think about it and just do stuff before you act. And it's like, holy shit. Yeah, how did we survive? We're here. We're here, but like, how?
You you came into our little like armpit of the country in like high school, yeah? You were there for like middle school?
I left at the end of middle school, so going into ninth grade is when I came in, which let me tell you, thank God, because I will say, as much as I give it, there is a lot of nice people there, especially when we were freshmen. A lot of the seniors were
Yeah.
nice, so. I remember actually there was somebody else with my name, Robbie, in choir, and throughout school, like maybe one or two people shared that name with me, and like I'd never have them in a class with me. But when I went into choir that first day, the teacher's like, you know what, Robbie, I'm gonna sit you right next to Robbie, and it's like, excuse me.
What if she was like, you'll be Robbie 1 and he'll be Robbie 2.
It is funny because she would say she would just go with Robbie all the time, and it's like, oh no, I meant that one, and she'd just start pointing instead. It's like, don't worry, we got you. It was so funny, man. I loved that. Freshman year was so much fun. As much as I was very upset because there was other things that I had wanted to do and I had in my mind for high school and stuff, and it's like, I'm happy with where it ended out because we have a lot of dumb memories and good memories together with each other.
Because I was gonna say, then in our middle school we had a little playground, but one of the little what do you call it things we had on that playground was it was called the merry-go-round, or at least that's what we called it. And it was like this donut ring shaped thing, and it would spin. And so like you could everyone would sit on it. I'm not sure how many people it would fit, but like everyone would sit, and yeah, of course it would spin. So you had someone on the inside or outside spinning everyone. But I think what would end up happening would be like maybe one or two people they like stand on it and like they'd run on it and see like how long it would take for them until like they like fell down or something,
Oh God.
or just something, like, or maybe too many people kept falling off. But I remember they like fixed it like you'd fix a dog, and so like it just became a glorified bench. It wouldn't spin no more. And there was some more like spinning contraptions there. I remember I got on one, and I don't know who exactly it was, but I remember they're on the bottom and like they were gonna be spinning, and they're asking like how fast like I wanted to be spun, and they were just going through like slowest to fastest. I remember like the fastest like quote unquote setting he called like ambulance or hospital, and I was like, what does that mean? And then he's like, basically just spinning so fast you have to go to the hospital, or like you have to use the ambulance, something along those lines. I was like, oh, okay. So of course, it was a guy just saying that, and it just goes to show like how reckless and small the male mind is.
Yeah. No, we other thing that I loved about high school is so I remember we were at Zane's one night. Remember when you guys pied me in the face?
You have to say some more details about it. Maybe it might jog my memory.
So I think that was one of the first nights Zane got high. Beyond that, trying to remember because there was, oh yeah, so he was sitting there and I'm not going to name who on this one because we did have a few people there, but it was somebody in the group who was sitting there and kind of just like you might not have been here for this, but
I
he
don't think
was
I was.
constantly commenting on because we were watching The Incredibles and we watched fucking I forgot what else we watched something else, Wreck It Ralph I think. Well, we were just watching kids shows or kids movies, and he's like, that ass though, especially Wreck It Ralph, the main female like character from the GI Joe shit, right? And he would just
Yeah.
go, that ass though, and like every 10 minutes, and it's like, why did I come here? Why am I existing right now? What the fuck, dude? So I feel like onto strange things that our friends have done. I feel like we got to talk this.
I feel like I feel like we could talk for hours about him. A little.
No, he has a whole bunch of subjects, but I feel like one of the biggest ones was because we've all mentioned this, we all joke with each other about this, but like he used to like cuddle everybody,
Yeah.
every time, So it was funny because as a group, we kind of got to a point where it's like, well, we would have like new people kind of shifting in and out, right? Main people would stay, but new people would kind of shift in and out. And the new people, every time when we went over to do our thing and fucking do all that shit, right? We would always shove the new person right next to because we knew what was going to happen, so most of us would like clear to the other sides of the room, and whoever the new person was, like he'd be on the bed was the only place to sit, so they'd obviously sit on the bed because it's like, well, it's a fucking comfortable spot, right? And there's no reason not to sit there until you realize exactly what he does and why we all don't sit there anymore. But God, that was one of the weirdest things I think he did, man. I don't know, he had some like weird shit. Like I said, he's a good person. I love him, man. I laugh at all this shit, so it's not like it's bad, but
One day I hope to have him on here.
no, speaking of friends, so this was up here and stuff, but it was this last Christmas, so we used to all get together and stuff, and we used to all do our thing, right? We'd play trivia once a month, and we got like 15 plus people there. So we did something for Christmas, and I woke up that morning, I was hammered. There's a reason why I didn't go home that night, and that was because I was completely like blackout drunk, basically. So I woke up, it was like 7 in the morning. We would sleep at 5 in the morning, okay? Wake up 7 in the morning, and keep in mind, I knew my friend was over here, because he was kind of on the other side of the room. But like throughout those 2 hours, like being blackout drunk and just kind of like shifting in and out of reality, right? Really wasn't sleeping that well. Just kind of like anything would wake me. So like I was seeing him, and it's just like the slow creep over movement, right? He was just kind of like sit on the wall here. Then he like be in the wall closer and like just be laying on the floor closer.
Just like a little entity.
Yeah, I get up at 7 o'clock and I look to my right, and this guy is less than a foot away from my face, completely awake, and is apologizing. He starts, the first thing I hear when I wake up and my eyes go awake is, "I'm sorry, Robbie," and it's like, What? Why are you apologizing? Why are you so close to
Oh
my
my
face?
God.
What is happening? Bro, literally within the first 3 seconds of waking up, that happened. It just like, and I had like sat up right away, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, what the fuck? And then he's like, oh, just whatever. I could tell he was drunk, so I just got up. I was going to take a piss, fucking. And then I come back, and when I come back into the room and I open the door and stuff, and I didn't even go into the room because like I peeked in, this guy, I shit you not, completely took over my spot. Literally was laying right where I was laying, and I had my keys, I had everything on me, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna call it good. And I went out to my car and I laid out there for like the next hour and a half because I was still drunk, bro. I was not sober yet. I literally didn't even sleep long enough to sober up. You know what I mean? So I was just like, man, I didn't know how to handle that, bro. I just left. I literally just left the house and just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna lay in my car, bro. Middle of winter
like
in the Minnesota, fuck it, man. I'm gonna lay in my car.
Just little entity just getting closer to you every time you open up your eyes.
Dude, that's what it was. That's it's funny because Literally, it reminds me of the SCP Stone guy.
Yeah,
That Stone
it's
statue
SCP.
SCP that just every time you close your eyes, he gets closer. It's just like, huh?
Like it, yeah, Containment Breach when you blink and like he open up your eyes, he's like right there. You get the screen effects, the sound. Yeah, near death experience right there, Robbie. You just had.
It was, man. No, but he does have like other things that lead him to those. You know what I mean? Brain is not working the same as most people. So
Yeah.
it's not like I don't mean this in a harsh way to him for this story, because like it's funny. You know what I mean? I find it funny now, but it's just like, holy fuck, that moment, I was not a happy camper, bro. I was pissed. I was like, dude, I just want to sleep. I just want to not be fucking like
Like
world spinning violently, please.
you're like, well, now I gotta go to my car and then just get your get your shit, and just go to your car now.
Well, I'm like you, so it's not confrontational, because I could have definitely just been like, get the fuck out of my spot, dude. But
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just go to my car and like not deal with this anymore.
man, I hate being considerate of other people and overthinking. Cause man, how long has it been since I went and recorded and uploaded the first episode of this whole thing? And I was just been waiting because I wanted to get you to be the second, person I have on here. And I was thinking, I was like, well, I know you're busy, and I was like, well, would it be bad if I like get other people to record at least, and then once we finally got to recording, then upload it, whatever, and then I have everyone else's ready. But I was like, no, I'll just wait until like we actually get to sitting down. Because I was like, what if he's really hoping? What if he's up at night looking up at the star? He's like, oh, gee, I can't wait to be on the second episode.
No, I was trying to free some time for this. I have been trying to, and I did have some free time, but like I said, our time
I
just
was
does not mix up that well.
I was napping.
It's 1:20 in
Shit.
the morning for me. I gotta get up tomorrow for work at 5:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, our times just tend to not end up working out so well. But I am glad that you had me on for the second episode, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, if any point you they get like too tired, because even I was like kind of thinking a little bit. I'm like, I know like it's a little late for him, so I'm not sure if like you're just running on some like coffee or whatever. I was like, rain check or anything, or if we need to like pause and record for another time, that's totally fine. If you're able to do it, we could do it. We're close to like 40 minutes now.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. I'll be good.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh boy, I hope he's probably just up at night, just looking up at the star. He's like, please, God, I hope I can be his second guest on his podcast. That would make me the happiest boy in the world.
Make me the happiest boy in the world.
That's why I was even asking. I was like, just wondering. I was like, I mean, should I at least get other people out, like record with other people, and then I get to them? But ultimately, I was like, I'll just wait on it. So now you're here. I just the little scenario I like to think of every time I'm be recording with other people is this like late night talk show. For you, actually, it kind of is a late night. Yeah, it pretty much is. All we're missing is just being on a stage in front of a live audience. Yep, I don't have my suit on.
Did you get a suit? Just have like a green screen behind you. Just record just that.
That'd be awesome. I have like my mug and everything, and then just yeah, I don't know what I call it, just the late night show. Whatever. Everyone has a late night show. I don't know how many people you got. James Corden, you got two Jimmys. You got Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. And you got Stephen Colbert. I don't know. I never watched any of them because like they don't pertain to me. I just changed it to like Robot Chicken or something when it got late night.
I don't watch any cable stuff nowadays. I don't know. My time is precious to me. So having anything with an ad in it or anything else that's going to take like 30 seconds, a minute, that's time, man. That's time that I could have used for other shit. I know it sounds really fucking petty and really like
You're like,
down
you
to
bitch!
the minute about shit, you know what I mean? But that's how I feel about a lot of shit. So like I would rather spend the time that I would waste on fucking whatever, watching those ads, other shit working, and just pay for whatever it takes to fucking have, no ads, whatever. So I don't have to deal with it, man. Because either way, it's time at the end of my day. And I think that making money with that time is better spent than watching other random shit that's 9 times out of 10 doesn't pertain.
It's ad pops up to donate to children that are starving. Like, don't care, just skip it as soon as the 5 seconds is done.
Bro, let's be honest here, okay? So I think I saw this the other day. A 5 second ad that you can't skip is god awful. We all hate it, right? But a 30-second ad that you can skip after 5 seconds, we love those.
Yeah, because it gives me the option. Because first one, you're not giving me an option here. You're just having me sit. I'm like, yeah, it's 5 seconds, but I'd rather have it be skippable still.
I find it funny just how people's brains work on that because it is really simple. It is literally the same amount of time either way. It's just different fucking, it's different ways of going about it, right? But everybody kind of like, a lot of people will choose that other option and just kind of say like, nah, fuck it. Don't want to waste my time. I'd rather just skip after 5 seconds, right? It's the gratification feeling in it, I think, more than
Yeah.
anything else. Of just like, nah, screw you, I'm gonna skip your ad. Dude, I used to wake up, so back in high school before YouTube had like Prime and all this other stuff that you could skip the ads with, right? Back in the
Yeah.
broke boy high school days. um I used to sit there and I used to have it on just kind of in the background, weird shit. So I used to listen to Five Nights at Freddy's playlist from Markiplier going to sleep at night.
That's what I do nowadays.
Yeah, horror. I don't know how, man. Like, I find it funny because I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people are like that, where it's like it's horror something. Like when you're going to sleep, and it's like, but why? Why are our brains just like, you know what? A horror game? Great. Let's fucking fall asleep to that shit. You know what I mean? Something that's supposed to be scary for me. Ah, that's peaceful.
I thought about that because I'm kind of I do have interest in horror stuff. Jump scares not so much, but horror stuff it'll intrigue me. So like nowadays I'll put on a video. It'd be like some like long ass video, maybe not on a topic I don't want to pay attention to, and then I'll put it on and it gets me to sleep right away. Uh, and one of them, like some nights I have thought, maybe should I have like scary stories playing? But then I think about it, I was like, do I want to have nightmares or sleep paralysis of whatever they're talking about? I was like, I'll play it safe. But
No, I would. I would not watch horror movies and stuff when you go to bed, but that's just me. Especially for
yeah,
somebody like, I don't know. I go in and out of it. So I'll have phases where it will be vivid dream, and then there will be a long stretch of periods where I just won't dream at all, right? But the vivid dream times, those are scary. Because if I do have horror shit and other stuff, that really affects my fucking dreams. So it'll just kind of be like a horror game, basically going through the dream, and it's like, you know what?
yep.
Don't want to be here. And it's a dream. So like, you're not really aware that you're in a dream. You're just kind of you're going through it.
Had some of them happen to where like I have a dream. I forget all the little like nightmares or whatever I'd be experiencing, but I'd remember I would go through it and then like I'd be kind of scared or like worried up to the point where like I kind of feel myself wake up and then eventually boom my eyes open. I'm like, well, thank God that's over. Not closing my eyes ever again. I don't want to risk re-entering the dream.
It's weird for me because most people, I know what you mean by like waking up. Because most people, when you wake up, you're kind of drowsy for like the
Yeah.
first few minutes. Don't really know what's happening, right? You're just kind of like coming to. For me, normally, it can be that way, but that is under like heavy. I was just exhausted, barely slept. You know what I mean? I have to be just fucking out of it, really tired. But for me, when I wake up, I'm alert. As soon as you see me moving or as soon as my mind like comes on, right, and I can, physically like be there, I'm up. Everything's processing. Everything's going 100% already. So it's weird for me cuz like that's other shit. That's why I take naps instead. I don't like most people like to sleep their 7-8 hours, right? In a day. Me, I think it's more effective to sleep in, 3 hours, get up, do fucking most of my day, get another nap in for another 3 hours, and just kind of progress like that because I get a little less sleep than most people, but in the end, I'm still getting the same amount of sleep. I don't hit REM sleep or
Heard
anything like that, but
I heard that's also a thing. I think it's called like like a biphasic sleep cycle. But yeah, they'll like sleep. Okay, like yeah, in total, yeah, probably 8 hours. But like people sleep for 4 hours and then they wake up, do some other shit for who knows how long, and then sleep again for another 4 hours, and then they continue on the rest of their day like that. Or maybe it's not even. even down the middle split. Maybe it's like 2 hours first send and like 6 hours the next or opposite. I heard about that, but and I've thought about doing it, but I don't know. I'm usually one of those people. I'm like the rest of the people in the 8 hours bandwagon conforming. I'm like, well, I gotta get 8 hours.
Well, I've never set 8 hours as a time limit for me. Six is mine. Six is my good time limit that I go for. Normally I can be fine, and every once in a while we'll take some extra naps, right? We'll get that extra amount of sleep because I'll take
Yeah,
a third nap in a day, and that's for weekends. Normally on a weekend, I'll take at least one day where I just sleep. I don't like to waste time like that normally because sleep, I don't know, a lot of shit like that, a lot of the basics. I don't view it as wasting time because it is also building on yourself, but at the same time, it is time that if I can minimize it more, I will, because it's, I could be making money, I could be fucking hanging out with you guys, I could actually be going and doing other things, I could be taking trips. That's another thing
yeah,
that's good to do, but like, I don't know, man, it's just, especially becoming an adult, I think to me it means more about minimizing and maximizing the time that you spend in doing certain things, because you can't just go on one, man. You can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna go balls to the wall. I'm gonna make only money. I'm gonna only focus on that, because then you lose your happiness over time, right? So you focus on everything as you go along, and you just kind of build on the little pillars that you got going, right? But
right.
I think sleep wise, though, it's good to do that type of schedule. It just depends on who you are, man, because not a lot of people can do it. It's more about a human body thing, it's body chemistry. Um, I like to. I don't know what the exact term is for it, but just kind of your biochemistry becomes a little bit off. That's why you don't need to sleep as much normally. It's not a lot of people do that shit.
What if you went to sleep for like 6 hours and you wake up, boom, you're in Yarnum?
Dude, if I yeah, no, I was about to say if I went to sleep for 6 hours, I think that would like be borderline on almost a coma for me. Cause I don't, that doesn't happen. That would literally feel like I just woke up from a fucking coma, dude. I don't know, cause I think the last time that I slept over 4 hours was probably over a year ago. I can guarantee that much. Um, at least at a time. Like I said, some days, I can get fucking 4 hour naps in twice, dude, because I'm just exhausted. That's just how it goes for the week, right? And you get this too, but as somebody who tries to, I don't know, especially as you get older, I feel like we become less people pleasers. There's not benefit in it unless you're in a work position, or it's around your friends too. I don't view it as effort when it's doing around friends, not a lot, but it's kind of like a sap on your energy too, right? Because it takes a
It's
lot.
a bit.
It takes a
Yeah,
lot to do
cause
that.
like I kind of want to branch out, like kind of from people pleasing, not like in a sense I'm gonna be like fuck everybody, but it's just more like when you're a people pleaser, you kind of don't really focus on yourself as much. So it's like yeah, like at my work for example, I do a lot of things. I don't really complain a whole bunch, even though like a lot of work gets put on me. But still, and then I think about, well, I'm probably gonna be leaving one day. I'm gonna be leaving one day. Don't know how when that will be, but still, I'm just over here thinking like, oh, I've been at the job for like over a year now, and then like there's nothing wrong like with the people there that makes me want to leave. It's just that I'm just gonna have to leave eventually. I can't see myself staying there for years and years on end. I gotta. There's other things I'd rather be doing, but just to put it, word it in a way, I just want to keep wording it like tell them like, hey, it's not you guys. I just want to do other things, but being the people pleaser makes it kind of hard because I'm just thinking about like what are they gonna think. I can't focus on me trying to get like a better job or a better opportunity elsewhere.
See, it's good to play the people pleaser at work sometimes, but there's a difference between people pleasing and working to get a raise or working to get a better position, because you can kiss somebody's ass and not be a people pleaser. You can kiss somebody's ass and just want to fucking raise, man. And that's how I view it,
Yeah,
especially work. I have very brutal mindset when it comes to work, but that's because it's either you're here to fucking work and you're here to be in this mindset and focus on these things and what we have to do to be able to either increase what we're producing, increase what we're selling to people, right? But it's either you're here to do these things or you can get the fuck out, man. Because I don't got time to waste on it, man. We're all here. Nobody wants to fucking be here half the time. Most jobs, 90% of the people, they don't want to be at that shit, bro. But guess what? We're all here. Get through the fucking day. Let's get our shit done and get the fuck out of here at the end of the day, man. So that way I can get my paycheck, you can get your paycheck. We're all fucking fine, right? Because I don't know, a lot of companies too. It's more the ethic of people just kind of being like, well, I can skim off on this, or I can just kind of take it a little bit easier on this, right? And I think
Right.
I hate that mindset so much because in a, like I said, in a public work domain and stuff, I get the whole, having to care about yourself, but you are there. You are getting paid to do a certain amount of things, and your time that they're paying you for, you have to be producing more money for them than you're getting paid. So, fuck though. A lot of jobs pay pretty low. I know some, if you go into any trades or unions and stuff, you can get off a lot better. You can get benefits. You can normally get out by a decent age, have some decent retirement money saved up and stuff. But you also destroy backs, other shit. Your body just kind of, most trades that you go into, some part of you is going to be just fucking messed up by the time you hit 50.
True, I can feel my bones rotting. I don't know. What's it? A lot of times at work, when I have to like kind of even crouch down to do something or like kneel and like standing back up, it doesn't hurt, but then it just, I don't know how you word it. It's just like, oh God, or I just like, you know, make a noise or something, and I'm like, yeah, I ain't, I ain't gonna be in the best shape, methinks, when the gray hairs start kicking in. I'm gonna be hopefully the cybernetics kick in. I can have robotic legs and then robotic arms, and then I was like, then I get a robotic torso. And then I'm like, since I'm there, might as well get a robot head and transfer my consciousness into one big robot.
Cyberpunk this shit.
Cyberpunk, the human, no weakness of the human flesh to hold me back.
It will hold you back. No needing to sleep. Just recharge your battery. You'll be fine.
Exactly, you just press the shutdown, and then at a certain time, just wake back up.
Just have it auto
Must be
boot and just be like, all right, we're cooking again.
robots have it easy.
Robots have it easy.
I can see where Adam Smasher was coming from.
Bro became like, what, 90% bored? Literally, his face was like the only part that wasn't. His face and
Yeah,
his brain, I think.
yeah, isn't he the one actually did say is like, oh, the moment I realized the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. Just start
I think it is.
mechanizing himself.
Dude,
And
Adam
then,
Smasher was
yep.
a good fucking character. Granted, between the games and the actual show, because like Edge Runners, great ass villain, bro. Absolutely good villain. I don't want to spoil anything and I don't want to say anything, but like, such a good series, man. Anybody who hasn't watched that, I very suggest it. But just
Yeah.
versus the games and how he is in the games, because you literally have like, what, you have a dildo weapon in the games, right? So I remember I did a playthrough with a melee character, which was nothing but strength. So that just so happens, it's a club. So I literally just beat him the shit out of him with a fucking dildo, and it's like, I feel bad for this man because like at one point I was fuming, I was fucking upset that this guy fucking whatever, all that shit happened, and then just now he's just literally got shit on by a dildo. So
I know what you did in the show.
I know what you did, you bastard.
It makes me think. I don't know if it will be like, if discussing it is kind of spoiler territory, but I do wonder because like obviously, well, the show. I don't know if he's even spoiling it, saying that the show is a prequel to the games, but he's in the show, but then I'm not sure if he got downgraded in any way from the show to the game because there were some things that happened in the show where it made you feel like, oh shit, like he's a menace, but then in the game, like you're saying, like you could shit on him with the Dodo Club, so it's like it makes me think like, what happened?
I have heard
Um,
though in the new patches they've updated him, so he's a bit more true to his character. But
Like, yeah, bro's like a literal legend, like man who is basically almost a Borg. And then you strut on in with Keanu Reeves, and you just go to town on him. I'd imagine. I haven't played the game.
Pretty much, pretty much. No, actually, I didn't beat it through the vanilla methods because I never had a playthrough that I beat it with one of the original endings. I beat it with the DLC endings, which DLC, I'm gonna be honest, that actually made me cry. I felt so
You
the
saw me host, yeah.
emotions, yeah, the emotions were building, bro. And it's like, holy shit, what is happening, dude? But no, just like, especially the ending to the DLC and stuff is so fucking good, man. It's just kind of like
Chef's kiss.
human, yeah. It's like a human feeling to it, right? It's a chef's kiss. It's like just not the power or the statement of not being able to do the things that you used to do, and kind of because being a main character in your life and kind of having to shift out of being that role for whatever reasons and stuff. I don't know, that kind of fucking that message, dude, just chef's kiss. It's such a good fucking game, dude.
I'm trying to think if I played a game where the ending might have made me cry. I'm pretty sure there is, but I can't remember it. Or there's definitely been some with emotional endings, but I'm not sure if it got me to cry. But yeah, there's been some sad moments in the game. You're like, oh god, why? Why is this happening? Definitely movies.
Stray was a movie that also, or not a movie. Stray was a game that like I didn't cry, but like I just felt bad because like even the intro scene is like the cat falling down from his friends. It's like no, no, buddy, God, and you could hear him just kind of like hit the bottom and like, meow, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, friend. Stray was such a good game too. Actually, now that I'm bringing it up.
It seems pretty interesting. I don't know. I haven't. It looks like it would be a good game, but I don't know if it would be something I would personally would say. Yeah, this is a cat, bro. You're living life as a stray. Oh, that's why they call it stray.
So my cousin was on unemployment for the week that it came out and shit. He 100% of that shit on PlayStation. Complete platinum trophy, and you had to beat the game in like less than an hour to do it on a playthrough. So like he just speed run the whole game, and it's like, man, why? I get like he's a pretty big cat guy, but it's like, holy
Yeah,
shit, why?
must have been a big day for all the cat fans out there, huh? When Stray came out.
Yeah, no, it was a big day, man. I feel like reaching back around to the game segment and doing a wrap up segment here just for bring it full circle. So I
Yeah.
mentioned this earlier, but this is more of a food for thought thing for everybody in the audience. But we had stated that if you were to be reincarnated into one of the Soul series without, what did we give for the rules and exceptions to this one?
Uh, okay, so it was just basically kind a little bit of like Sword Art Online rules, kind of just from the fact that if you die, like you're dead, like you're donezo. So that was kind of the basic of it. That was or the basis of it. We're just saying, okay, well, which one would be, or it was like a personal question really, and then I think it was a personal question, but then it led up to actually being what would be like the best choice. But it was just yeah, which game with the FromSoft games? So you got Demon Souls, the three Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and now Elden Ring. Which one would have been the best to wake up, find yourself in, and survive without dying?
And so we had stated before, because there is a problem with just this is a base question, right? And that is, you die in 90% of like all the Dark Souls games. You die at some point in the game. You are
Yeah, it's like
scripted to be fucking
necessary.
dead. So it is necessary to progress further and get on with whatever the fuck. But so we were talking about it, and so there's an exception to the question, and that is the necessary deaths. We're gonna act like something else happened there, okay? Like we didn't have to die there, and we had to do something else, right? Because
Yeah.
otherwise it makes no fun in the question. But the question burns down to so if you were reincarnated into any Souls-like series where if you die, you're officially dead, excluding
Benzo.
gameplay specific things that happen, like Elden Ring. It would be the first, when you jump off a cliff, whatever.
Yeah.
Excluding those things. So which one would it be? I would love to see comments and everything else about this, because this was something we asked to our friend group, and we have gotten quite a few reactions to this. It was a real brain turner. We literally had this going for like 2 days.
Should we discuss some of our thoughts that we had? Put some of that in. Okay, I think I like how because the other day I was watching a Bloodborne video, but then I kind of got reminded that to get to the Hunter's Dream, you don't dying isn't necessary. You just gotta get to if you manage to get past through everything in the beginning, you gotta hit the lamp and then you go to the Hunter's Dream. So that's not a necessary death. I haven't played through the game, so I can't really name anything else that would be one. But I like how we kind of just said like Bloodborne would probably just be the worst one to get isekai into, just because of the cosmic horror concepts and the situation like the game.
I think I think out of all of them, I think that is the one that I'd be like, probably not. How about we don't do this? Especially now that you bring it up, that is technically not a required death to get to the Hunter's Dream. So, well, that means that, you'd have to fucking go through that way. And fuck, dude, no. You'd
Still
basically
like
be slapping people until you got to the Hunter's Dream. So,
yeah, but even still, the whole game is you're literally in a nightmare throughout the whole game. So you're just constantly facing horrors beyond your little pea brain could imagine. Granted, that's also in all the other games, but I feel like it happens more so in Bloodborne than a lot of the other games.
there's more of a horror aspect in Bloodborne than most of the other games. I don't know. Elden Ring is one of those that, like, I forgot who I was talking with, but we were talking about it. It's like, that capital, bro, that capital would have been a vibe before it all, like, crumbled and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Elden Ring, that would have been a vibe, bro, before.
Yeah, if you a lot of the scenery in Elden Ring, like take turn the clocks back a couple of centuries, millennia, what have you, when those things were in their prime, like it would have been a vibe. Imagine getting high there, walking down the big old street from the lift of Dectus to Lanedale.
Just going straight to the fucking, the Erd Tree chambers and stuff. Just like, man.
Yep.
Dude, that would be such a cool experience. I think Elden Ring definitely was one of my favorites for getting reincarnated, excluding the death shit, because why not? I think what we were talking about 3 or 2. That would be another very bad option. 3. Because 3,
maybe
you're
3.
literally on the tail end of burning the entire world. So, like, as soon as you're done with your progression and whatever the fuck, right? Like, it's just, there is no option. You're just burning everything. Everything's dying, right?
Yeah, because the world's just ash at that point, and not a lot of places are left standing because yeah, Dark Souls 3 of course it's the last game of the series, so countless times the cycle has been renewed, and so other countless like civilizations come and gone. So that's just what the basis of Dark Souls 3 was. That was more so also in the what is it, City expansion, where like you access it and then you have the Dread Keep, and it's just like that Inception scene where like you have towers, walls, and like castles just all crumbling upon each other. That's basically how the rest of the world, I think that's how they alluded to that, especially so when you get to the ending of it. And I think it's either like a time skip or like a veil's been lifted where the whole world's just ash, and it's just you and a handful of other people there at the end of the world. And so yeah, B 3 is also a bad one.
Yeah, but I feel like there's definitely a few of those. Sekiro, we were talking about that one too. Sekiro, we went in depth about. So Sekiro, nothing essentially really bad happens, right? Like as the Lord dude, you get your arm cut off and other shit, but like nothing insanely bad is happening in the world from what we know, right? There's the
Yeah,
dragon rot and the other shit, but
it's like Dragon Rod and some things affected by this rejuvenating waters BS, and you got centipedes inside of other things. But honestly, aside from, him following his code to protect his master, he could just leave. Like he doesn't have to be there.
yeah, you could just be gone. So like, and I think Elden Ring also, with all the extra like the different endings and shit, I feel like there's better options for an ending. Granted, most of them still you're burning the world. The whole world's fucked. From as far as I know, because you're literally burning the entire tree.
Yeah.
So sunlight gone. I wonder, man. I really do wonder what the DLC is where it's gonna take place, because I've seen a few things like There's supposed to be like a second Erdtree in the shadow of the first one and other stuff like
Yeah.
that. But no, I
I
think out of all of them though, my favorite would definitely be Elden Ring for getting reincarnated, man. I'd have to. Keep in mind, you'd also have game knowledge too. So you'd have like previous knowledge
but
of all this shit that's gonna happen. So or
yeah.
where to grab things and all the other knowledge. So
Yeah, it's just you just wake up in there one day. So you kind of just have what you call it? Pre-recognition or whatever. You have you can just sit there and then probably people asking you like how you know all this and you're like, I just sensed it.
I
Like
just
I just
sensed it.
yeah, you can't give yourself away. Yeah, the little in-game NPCs probably couldn't comprehend in their little coding, what have you, that there was an outside world that gamers play through it. Yeah, Elden Ring's probably is a good choice. I wanted to stray away from Elden Ring and try to like do another option, but I don't know. It's either Dark Souls 1 or 2, I'd say, because well, I have to replay Dark Souls 2 again, which I'm trying to do, but Dark Souls 1, I think it's still like the world's still fresh. Like you're like at the end of the game, you're only restarting or like rekindling the first flame like a second time. So everything's still, brand new. Granted, everything's gone to shit in Lordran, but not as bad. And the main bosses you have to fight, like a lot of the gods you have to kill, like they're pretty much like weakened or like in a weakened state. So I would say that. But Dark Souls 2 does have some nice scenery. It's just the only thing I was also keeping in mind for our argument or discussion was that you had to be put into this world, whatever you choose, but then you also had to get to the end game or like defeat all the necessary bosses that would allow you to get an ending. So it's like with that in mind, like you can't just get plopped in and then just be like, well, this is my life now, and just sit down somewhere and just wait. Like you got to complete the game.
Be the oh god, the prawn guard guy. Just sit there, sell some shrimp.
Yep.
Just be a kind NPC vendor for the rest of your days. Fuck it.
Gets his another regen fondled
Dude,
by
imagine having to go through a gauntlet of just reincarnation. So, like, to get back to your world, right, just gotta go through every Dark Souls game.
Yeah, you either go from the first game, Demon Souls, the three Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, yeah, Sekiro, and then Elden Ring. You're just tired at that point. You're just a husk.
It just gets fucking erratic out and just be like, die. Dude, you'd be just a veteran. You'd literally be a veteran. You'd just have that old, the shell shock shoulder. Or that's
Yeah, the 1,000 yard stare.
in yard just there, just,
Well,
get me out.
because yeah, I think Sekiro wouldn't be too bad either. Because honestly, you're just like a dude who gets roped in to like all this bullshit that's happening in Ashina.
Yeah, I think Sekiro wouldn't be bad because you could literally just leave. You could just be like,
And
yeah, no.
yeah, and then I was thinking because I know for Sekiro we were saying like, oh, the downside for that, the World Dragon, and then we're like, oh, you have to trust in your own sword skills, or whatever. But then in all the other games, like honestly, so long as you have the stats to wield a weapon, your character knows how to like work it and maneuver it. So I don't know if that would, you think that would apply to us if we like got isekai in? We just pick up a weapon if we're strong enough, we just know how to use it.
I feel like that would have to be a thing. I feel like the stat requirements is like the knowledge needed to. I don't know. It doesn't work as well with strength weapons, huh? Strength and like dexterity. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll just keep it as like that is the knowledge that we needed, right? So, because you do make a fair point with that, but
Yeah, so actually, well, you know what? Hot take, personal hot take. I think I might just switch my answer from Dark Souls 1 up. Probably say Sekiro. Sekiro, just go in there and then, like I said, honestly, you got no like fucked up shit like the many bosses of Bloodborne, and then it's not like you're kind of going up against gods, as in like the Dark Souls games. Like I think the worst of it is what like Ishin at the end of the game, and all he is just like he's just one skilled motherfucker. That's it. It's not. He's not like yeah, he's not like a lord of death or anything, or like a world devouring serpent. He's just a man.
Dude, that is so unfair for a fight because out of all of them, bro literally just pulls out a Glock. There's no other way to describe it. He shoots like what is it, like 5 to 6 shots, just like consecutively, and it's like, bro, chill, actually chill out.
Is there ever a lore reason for that, or is it just like, hey, what's this? And then just pops off some shots?
Uh, I'm sure there is a lore reason. I'm not a big lore guy on Sekiro. I know Elden Ring stuff a decent chunk, but that's also because DLC's coming out, so I've been just snooping through that, especially for like nap time sleepies, and just kind of put an Elden Ring lore video on and just write out.
True. That's crazy. Imagine you have one of those lore videos on repeat. You wake up, you can recite it word for word.
I wish it worked that way. I really wish you just like, dude, imagine you could just like play something next to you, like fuck it, you want to learn a new language, right? And just like play that shit right next to you, like a Duolingo or some shit, and just kind of like throughout the night, and just like wake up in the morning and just know everything, just everything that you were sleeping and like listening, just know it all.
I feel like I'm not sure what had given me that idea as a kid, but I thought as a kid that's how like some things work. I never tried it myself, but I thought that's like some like quick way to get knowledge. I think I seen it in a cartoon one time, but I don't think that was like what started it. I just seen that it happened in a cartoon. And like kid falls asleep, listening to something, and he wakes up and he knows it now. And I was like, neat. I was like, maybe I should try that one day if I really, really need it.
I'd have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure it's more for like reinforcement rather than learning. It's more for like reinforcing something in your brain.
True, true. I think this whole podcast stuff also, I'm not sure like how much I'd really monetize it. I think it would be like a fun thing to do, and I just pass it around like a lot of friend groups and people I know, and just like be like, hey, listen to this. I say cuss words in it.
Well, you can just put it on like Spotify or something. Cuss words don't matter.
Yeah, cause I was just having it. Yeah, no, cause I wasn't like the whole angle on it. I just thought like it'd be a fun thing I'd do with like friends. So I'm just gonna gather all my friends and just record like with people, and then probably just be a thing that kind of exists on friend groups. I have it on a YouTube channel, but I'm not really trying to press for it and try to have it be the next big thing or anything. I just think it'd be fun.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do like a little wrap up here because we're probably gonna clip that. I'm assuming. Um.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, honestly, that was kind of was a good wrap up though. No, this game talk, and then we're like, which would you choose?